So, structural safety checks, we heard from that report, will now be commissioned. I don't know if that is medicine after death or what you call it. It's a recurring story. These things happen. People, look, one wants to be charitable, but it keeps on happening, and always it will seem as if, are there not human errors or omissions in some of these tragedies that happen? A tragedy was averted, you know, because as you heard the report say, just minutes before the building came down, the hurried evacuation of pupils following notices of cracks. Cracks, well, sometimes cracks could appear overnight, but very rarely. It would have been days, if weeks, maybe even months. Well, you are a property check and real estate development expert yourself. What can you tell us about this? Because we have a body called the Lagos State Building Control Agency. Correct. All sorts of approvals will be necessary before you can proceed apace. So give me your own, you know, impression as to what is going on that make these incidents happen time and again. Okay.
So from my own standpoint, I think it is also the responsibility of not just the government, but also occupants or property owners within that space. Yeah. And if we look at statistics, right, I think over the past 50 years, Nigeria has experienced close to about 604 collapses.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and in Lagos State, I think between 2011 to about 2022, Lagos State has experienced about 129 building collapses, right? Well, at least we're grateful that nobody died in this particular incident. But what is that? What is the data saying? It's saying that there are signs of these things happening. So the question of what is the government putting in place to ensure we're able to checkmate some of these collapses? So I would say, like I said earlier, that yes, the government has its own role to play, but developers, occupants as well, have their role to play as well. And I would always say that why we want to share the blame. We also notice that some of these things happen as a result of maybe they don't have like proper registered plans, or people put an extra layer when they know that the structure is not even right for it, and or you want to maximize profit, so you try to use subsidized, substandard materials. Yeah, substandard materials. So it's a whole lot. It's a really broad conversation.
Well, yeah, it is, except that most unfortunately, it's a look, if one were, one doesn't want to mess with all these government agencies, but I could almost do the program alone. And all the kind of things that they'll be saying, we've heard them time without number. Yeah. The painful thing is that you have an agency called the Lagos State Building Control Agency. Now, that's a technical agency. If you were to go in there, I'm sure the kind of people you find in there will be experts of sorts, and certainly experts at the higher levels. People who know what they're doing, people who know building control, Lagos State Building Control Agency. So all the technical aspects of putting up a building, they know, they are aware of them. And I can't say for sure, but I would be very surprised if you didn't have to run so many things by them and then give approval before you proceed. But again, what you have said is that maybe people were cutting corners. Correct. Now, this thing has gone and happened. The question I've asked before, too many times that I've cared to even, but I don't really care to mention it again, is that how do they let these buildings go from first floor to second floor to third floor and then fourth? That would not happen overnight. And somebody, no, I just don't know. I just don't know, because if it's another thing concerning revenue now, they will notice that, they have begun to dig foundation here. There are dues that have not been paid. As quick, you see the red crosses. So I'm beginning to wonder how. No, it's a very, very, very serious. It's just that I'm frustrated. It's just that I'm frustrated. Now we are told by the Director of Public Affairs of the agency that they've set up now, they've put in progress an investigation. And look, maybe it's uncharitable of me to say so. It's going to happen again. This thing is going to happen again. Yeah. It's a terrible thing to say, but because they don't have a zero tolerance for any infringement, even the slightest infringement of a building code, one building code or the other, shut it down until the right thing is done. In your experience, do we have those kind of provisions, and have you seen it done where agencies like the LSBCA have been so strict they won't let builders proceed until something has been satisfied? Have you seen that before in your professional career?
Yes, I've seen several projects where you don't meet some level of standard, right? And they're really firm on it. What I can say.
So what they do is, do they seal it off?
Oh yeah, they do. They will seal it. Yes, they do seal it off. They do seal it off. And developers will have to, like, go meet them till they meet the required standard. So I've seen several actually. What I can say as regards this subject matter is that in terms of even from a technological standpoint, what I've seen in the recent real estate landscape now is that the government are taking actionable steps, especially how to leverage technology to one. I'm seeing a lot of digitalization within the real estate space now. So I want to speak from a positive side.
But they need it sorely. They need it so because we don't want to wipe them out.
Correct.
So here you are saying that, well, actually, they can be professional at times. You've seen evidence of that.
Yes.
So it's possible for them to even argue that, well, this agency didn't happen overnight, and life is a continuum. So some things might have happened before a new bunch of professionals have come on, and we have a zero tolerance. Unfortunately, what has been done before, some of the repercussions of what we're seeing. They say cracks were noticed by even
the occupants.
Occupants and also residents in the area. And the day it was going to come down, they had to hurriedly take these people out. So we have got to thank that it didn't become the kind of tragedy that it could have been, because it's a school, and you would think that it being a public building, even if it is not by government, the fact that it is for public use, schools, the standards will be stringent. But here we are. What would you just advise? Because we've heard this story before. What would you just advise now, in addition to what you are saying, which is on the positive, that actually, to be fair to LSBCA, you've seen that you've seen them at work, and it does appear that sometimes they hold firm to what is the right thing to do. So what would you then advise as an expert?
Okay, so what I can say is we know we have landlord associations, we have these communities, these stakeholders within a particular community, I would say we now need to, because the honest truth is, if someone dies, the family is affected, the community who know these people are affected. So while the government are putting some systems in place, we also now to hold ourselves accountable, where these landowners were always, you're a chairman of a particular street, you should be able to notice some certain things. For instance, now, there was a particular incident that happened in a particular place in Lagos as well, and we from afar, we could see that this house is slant.
It was listing to one side.
Exactly, and we noticed it, and this house was there for like months, and we had to say, no. If care is not taken, this thing will collapse. Right? We could see it. They could not see it because they were all right. They were occupied. They were living all right. And we had to we had to report to a few people and say, you know what? Who is the landlord or chairman of the association? Please, this house has to be brought down. And thankfully, they were able to listen and they were able to leave that apartment. But my point is, if we as individuals did not even see it before the government comes to play, that could happen.
As a point of interest, did the house come down?
Eventually did.
Oh, it eventually did.
Yes, because it was already slanted. So the more activity that is happening there from a structural standpoint, do you understand?
Was it a residential area?
Yes, it was a residential.
So,
property.
I mean, it stands to reason, it's not the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy, you know. It stands to reason that if you put a bowl of soup or a bowl of water on any surface in that place, you see from the water level now.
Correct.
You see from the water level, say, come, this is our house. Water no dey straight, oh. It always is leaning one side or the other. Yeah. So the house eventually came down. And we